Okay, so we're looking at the practice mock exam question, and specifically, we're trying to find k off the slope of the graph. That was the task in part D. So just a quick reminder what we had. We had a graph of x max in m's, and then here we have a square root of m in square root of kilograms, and the values went up to about 0.5, 1, 1.5 or so, and then over here went up to about 0.4, 0.2, and then the line looked something like that, okay? And there we go. Now, to do this kind of problem, and just a reminder how to do this, the most important thing, and I think this is the most common mistake, is to keep breathing, to relax, and not freak out, okay? And the other thing that's important is to relate it back to the relationship that we have between the variables involved. Now, we've in part C, it was in this case actually given to us that the relationship is x max is equal to v0 square root m over k. There we go. Now, if you look at that, that doesn't look perfectly in shape in terms of agreeing with what we had here, which was like down here we have the square root of m as our x variable, and then over here we have x max as our y variable. And I think the confusion arises for a couple of reasons here. So it's okay to be confused a little bit about this. There are a couple of things happening. First of all, your y variable is x, and it's like, what? And that's one thing that's confusing. The unit for the x variable is m, meters, whereas down here in the x variable, we have square root m, but that's mass. That can be confusing. And the other thing is over here that we've got things baked together a little bit, because over here we have really a variable, m, and we have a constant. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbake those two parts, separate them, because that's the key of the solution. Because remember, we're trying to get things into this kind of form, and this is going to get even more confusing, huh? Don't you love science? Okay, then we have, I'm just going to write it out, slope times x, okay? I didn't write m here because I think we got enough m's on the board, right? There's an m there, there's an m there. I don't want to use m here for slope. I'll just write slope, okay? We want to have y equals slope times x, so we want to sort the constants out of here to get that going. So let's take a look, x max, and we have v0 as a constant, but in here we have square root of 1 over k. That's also a constant. And then at the end, we have square root of m. And now that we've unbaked over here the variable, and specifically the x variable is here, and then out front, we have what's called the y variable, then this thing here is corresponding to be the slope. And let's use blue. There we go. So the slope now is this thing. Okay, so the slope is v0 square root 1 over k. And we can take that now down here and say, okay, slope is equal to v0 square root 1 over k. And of course, we're trying to solve this for k, and it's stuck in the square root, so we're going to have to square everything. So we'll get slope squared equals v0 squared times 1 divided by k. And now I'm just going to scooch down just a jiffy. And then over here, that means that K is equal to, move that up, move that down, V0 squared divided by slope squared. And there we go. That should be the answer. And then we can plug in our values, our slope, and our initial, the velocity we have, which is 2, I think. And voila, there we go. So I'll stop recording.